Morning, good afternoon, good evening. The infighting in Zanu-PF is unstoppable. Many people have observed that the fight over who is going to succeed, who is going to take over from Mnangagwa, or whether Mnangagwa is going to step down in 2028, is hotting up. It is dividing the party. It's true. But no one can do anything about it. Such is the determination of both sides. Now that they have declared their position, there is no going back. Here is Patrick Chinamasa explaining how the party is going to pursue this agenda of getting Mnangagwa to stay on beyond the two-term maximum limit.
tikaenda tiine uwandu hwedu wakaona zvechokwadi kuti hapana kupikisana pakati pedu handiti kavangu vanobvuma kana wabvumaka zvatinaki.
Just want to comment on that point. There is a difference between persuading the party members and the ordinary Zimbabweans. The ordinary Zimbabweans are being persuaded on the grounds that Mnangagwa is doing such a good job in delivering this Vision 2030, this upper middle income by 2030. The truth of the matter is, of course, the people can see for themselves that this Vision 2030 is a mirage. The economy is in total meltdown. The roads are in a deplorable state. Healthcare, education have all but collapsed. The list of failures is absolutely endless. But to be quite honest, this is just a smoke screen. Zanu-PF is not concerned about persuading the people. It's concerned more about persuading the Zanu-PF ruling elite and the war veterans. They are the real people with the real power in Zimbabwe. The rest of the populace, they've always been disregarded. But they need to put that pretense that the people were persuaded on the basis that they also believed in the Vision 2030. But let's go back to Chinamasa on how he is going to persuade the Zanu-PF ruling elite and the war veterans.
So your strategy iripo tiri kuenda mberi neresolution 2030 zvakazorongwa manje nepati zvakanzi nyaya iyi yayedepartment of legal affairs yazaya secretary for legal affairs to implement resolution 2030. So zvichaitika apa ndezvekuti tichaongorora ndichibvunzwa vamwe kuti tinoimplementa sei maererano nekuchinja bumbiro remutemo. Ndinotora gwara ripi handingadi kudoma zviri mumusoro mangu hasisati zvazvaiswa papepa. Tozwa kubvumirana futi kuti kana taane rugwaro runotaura kuti tichafamba sei, tinonogogodza matare api kusvika kuti tizoti zvakuitika. Chekutanga ndechekuti Secretary for Legal Affairs anova nhengo yepolitical achanogogodzawo political kuti ndauya nenyaya iyi sekuona kwangu zvinogona kuitika endi zvichaitika pange zvakati munobvumirana nazvo here. Handizvo tobva political toenda kuCentral Committee. Central Committee National People's Conference Bulawa yakati taongorora takaona kuti section yakati muconstitution section yakati inoda kuamendwa. Takaenda kupolitical ikabvumirana neizvi tiri kukumbira kuti imini weCentral Committee mubvumirane nezvataurwa nepolitical. Zvikapasisa Central Committee tadini kwakundopa ma-instructions kune government kuti ndimi munochinja mitemo kuparliament, chiendai go ahead muite saizvozvo. Ndatinde kunyevere nyaya iyi kuti muzive kuti tiri kufamba sei.
Well, some people have said, and rightly so too, that the law, the Constitution is very clear. The Constitution says elected officials, that is the president, MPs, senators, and so forth, are elected for a fixed term, 5 years. And at the end of the 5 years, there must be fresh elections. In the case of the president, the Constitution is also equally clear that he cannot serve more than a maximum of 2 terms. They are right in making that argument. But what I would like them to remember is that this is a regime that in 2017 said the military coup was justified, legal, and constitutional. I think it is obvious that violating an obscure 2-term limit clause will be nothing. If a military coup can be justified, legal, and constitutional, violating a mere clause, I don't think it's a problem. So we can all be certain that Chinamasa and company will find the judge will be willing to do as he's told. Why is Mnangagwa so determined to stay in power? That is an important question. The obvious reason, of course, is that here is an individual who has been in power as the center of power for the last 45 years. He's addicted to power. He can let go now. The prospect of him becoming just another citizen is unthinkable. Just like Mugabe before him. Many people have argued that Mugabe died sooner than probably he would have done if he had remained in power. Because after 37 years in power, to find himself now sidelined was simply unbearable. I think if Mugabe was addicted to power, the case of Mnangagwa, that addiction is even stronger. Mnangagwa, of all the Zanu-PF leaders, is definitely one of those who have shown that they are willing, their addiction to power, their passion for power is so strong, they'll do anything to hang on to power. If we look at Zimbabwe's history for the last 45 years, Mnangagwa was at the heart of some of the heinous crimes the regime has committed. The coup in the early 1980s. He was the man behind the blatant cheating and wanton violence of 2008. He was, yes, may not have been the frontman, but he was involved in the military coup. And he has made it abundantly clear that he is willing to kill again and again to stay in power. The other day, he issued a statement making it clear that if anyone should challenge him, his hold on power, he is willing to do whatever it takes to hang on to power. He said, and meant it. His appetite, his passion to stay in power is further heightened by the fact that in all these years in power, Mnangagwa is believed to have amassed a lot of wealth. Here is one of his former colleagues, Professor Jonathan Moyo, talking about Mnangagwa's wealth.
Are you corrupt?
No, in fact, this is laughable, seriously laughable. First of all, this is an accusation coming from the most corrupt politicians and public officials in the history of our country. They cannot account for the assets that they have. The richest individual in the Republic of Zimbabwe is Emmerson Mnangagwa. The one person who was responsible for setting up Zanu-PF companies when he was the Secretary for Finance of the ruling party is Emmerson Mnangagwa. There is no cent that comes from those companies, including a bank, including investments in the region, in countries like Namibia and even South Africa. The person who led the plunder of resources, even in foreign countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, leading to the United Nations investigating and coming up with a report that is still there, is Emmerson Mnangagwa, along with the military cabal of General Chiwenga, SP Moyo, the person who brought the Chinese to plunder Chiadzwa diamond resources for Zimbabwe, up to a point where we have, at the very least, over a period from 2007 to 2014, some 12 to 15 billion dollars in diamond revenue that remains unaccounted for, that went into the pockets of individuals. These people have staged a coup, not just to grab power for the sake of grabbing power, but in order to cover up their corruption. That command agriculture was nothing but a looting scheme.
So if you are the richest man in Zimbabwe, I think it also follows that you have got a lot to lose if we were to lose power. But it's not only the wealth that Mnangagwa has got to protect. As I've said, his love for power has been so strong, he has never hesitated committing heinous crimes. Here he is boasting about his role in the 2008 electoral coup.
2008 patakaita ma-elections pakaposa papinda Tsvangirai ndandiri election agent ya president. Ma-results abuda tiri party headquarters vamutasa vanga vari secretary vedu ve-administration vamutasa muripi ndafona ndiri kwarusapi komo kwenda kwarusapi seka ma-results achibuda kudai vanga aiwa zvako izvo Mnangagwa ndezvo zvako endaenda kumusha ofisi vanga vabisa zvinhu zvavo zvose watofunga kuti zani yadini yaparara. President ofona zvakamira sei kati ndomamira zvakaita takatodini kateda sei manje mama ndikati abvudzai baba nditaure navo baba gadzirai politburo cabinet musarangarira zvimwe zvinhu gadzirai chi cabinet asi nangoda kuti muzive kuti 2008 ma-results abuda vamutasa vakatiza.
As a country we face a generational transition. Vana vesa vari kuma below 35, they are crying out for help. The country is in a mess. Arusurufaro. We know we are inheriting a mess. We know this country has been left with nothing.
I'm assuring you that starting from tomorrow, you'll see a different nation from what you have seen or read on the news about these results and everything. Where we are going ahead there, the situation will be very different. What we said to our people, they could not see with their own eyes. We are going to act as we see it fit. We are prepared to go the whole distance.
Mnangagwa, besides all his farms, wealth, business interests, and so forth, has a lot of skeletons in the attic, in the basement, mine shafts, everywhere. He does not want any of that to come out. He cannot trust anyone to keep that under wraps, except himself. This is why Mnangagwa is determined to stay in power no matter what. The reality is, we, the people of Zimbabwe, have to force him. We can force him, and we must force him to step down. Zanu-PF has managed to stay in power these last 45 years, not because, yes, they are ruthless, but I think the opportunities, there have been many opportunities to end the dictatorship. And those opportunities have been wasted. Mnangagwa rigged the 2023 elections. SADC and the AU election observers condemned those elections as flawed and illegal. Why did SADC not deny the regime legitimacy? After all, they denied Zanu-PF legitimacy in 2008, following the wanton violence led by Mnangagwa himself. Why didn't they do so in 2023? You understand why they did not deny Zanu-PF legitimacy then you also understand how we can stop Mnangagwa getting his wish to extend his stay in power beyond 2028. Food for thought. Thank you very much, those of you who were able to listen. Hope you will be able to join us at 6 o'clock UK time, 8 o'clock Zimbabwe time. Have a good day.